Hello students, my name is Mr. Robinson Ambrose and I will be taking your mathematics. I hope you're having a very fruitful time at home. You already know that the world is facing a crisis due to coronavirus, and staying at home is the best option we have. Now, therefore we have no classroom teaching and no classes at all. But thanks to technology, we are able to reach out to you because of the internet. Before starting, I would like to tell you something. You know that early men used to live in caves and they used to survive on hunting. But the problem they used to face was about counting the animals they used to hunt. So slowly they started using fingers for counting. But that was not enough because we have only 10 fingers in a hand. Later on, they started using pebbles for counting. But that was also not enough. And then slowly they started using tally marks. But tally marks is like drawing lines on the wall. But that was also not enough for them. So in due course of time, the Indo-Arabic numerals or the Hindu-Arabic numerals came into existence. So today we are going to start with number system. To learn any language, we require alphabets. So therefore, numbers are like alphabets through which we learn the language of mathematics. In number system, first of all, we learn about the various types of numbers. First, natural numbers. Natural numbers are denoted by capital N, and all counting numbers are called as natural numbers. They start from 1 and they carry on till infinity. Let us represent them on a set. The second type of numbers are called as whole numbers. Whole numbers are natural numbers including 0. So we can say that whole numbers have an extra number apart from all the natural numbers, and that is 0. Let us come to the second type of numbers, that is whole numbers. Whole numbers are denoted by capital W, and whole numbers are all natural numbers including 0. So therefore we can say that whole numbers include an extra number other than all the natural numbers, which is 0. Let us represent them on a set. So therefore we see that whole numbers is denoted by capital W, and these numbers include 0 to infinity. Let us come to the third type of numbers. They are called as integers. Integers are denoted by I or Z. Let us write them down. Now, integers are all whole numbers, including the negative of natural numbers. So we can say that all the whole numbers plus the negative of natural numbers constitute integers. Let us write them down. So basically we can say that integers are all positive whole numbers, all negative whole numbers are taken into consideration. So we have learned the three types of numbers, that is natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. Once again, let us see. Natural numbers are denoted by capital N, and they start from 1, carry on till infinity. Whole numbers are denoted by capital W. They start from 0 and carry on till infinity. Integers are denoted by I or Z, and they constitute all the positive numbers, all the negative numbers, including 0. Now let us come to, you know that mathematics has 4 operations: plus, minus, multiply, and divide. So let us understand the properties of addition of integers. The first property of addition of integers is called as closure property. We know that the sum of any two integers gives us an integer. So therefore, if we take, for example, 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 gives us 6. 4 is an integer. 2 is also an integer. The sum of 4 plus 2 gives us 6, which is also an integer. So therefore we can say that addition of integers are closed. Let me show you the example. Here we have 4, which is an integer, as we have already learned. 2 is also an integer. And if we add 4 plus 2, that gives you 6, which is also an integer. So therefore, we can say that addition of integers are closed. Now let us come to the second property, which is called as the commutative property. In commutative property, if we change the order of the addition, the result does not change. So therefore we can see that, suppose if we add 4 plus 2, or we add 2 plus 4, we get the same result as 6. So we can say that A plus B is equal to B plus A. So that's the commutative property of addition, where if you change the order of addition, the result does not change. Now let us come to the third property, which is called as associative property. In associative property, if the grouping changes in addition, the result does not change. Let us see that. Let us see here, A added to the sum of B plus C is equal to C added to the sum of A plus B. Let us understand by taking the values for A, B, and C. Let us assume that A is 1, B is 2, and C is 3. And let us work out this equation. Here, 2 plus 3 will give you 5. And here 1 plus 2 will give you 3. So both sides we have 6 as a result. So therefore we understand that in associative property, if the grouping changes, the result does not change. Let us come to the fourth property, which is called as the additive identity. We know that for an integer a, the addition of a with 0 gives you a. So therefore, now let us come to the last property, which is the additive inverse. For any integer a, we know that if we add it to minus a, it will give you 0. For example, so therefore, we can see here the additive inverse of a is minus a. As we have the additive inverse of a1 as minus 1. So the additive inverse of any number is the negative value of that number. For example, if we have 2, the additive inverse of 2 will be minus 2. Similarly, if we have minus 2, the additive inverse of minus 2 will be plus 2. So that concludes our properties of addition of integers. Let me explain it once again. First, we have the closure property. In that, we say that the sum of two integers will always give us an integer. Here we have 4 plus 2. 4 and 2 are integers, gives us 6, which is also an integer. The next property is commutative property, in which we say that if the order of addition changes, the value or the result does not change. A plus b will give you b plus a, or we add a plus b is always equal to b plus a. Third property is associative property. In this, we understood that if the grouping changes, the value does not change. For example, a added to the sum of b plus c gives you the same result as c added to the sum of a plus b. If we take the values of a, b and c as 1, 2 and 3, we have seen that it gives you the same result as 6 at the end. So therefore, if the grouping changes, in addition, the result does not change. The fourth property was additive identity. If any integer is added to 0, it gives you the same integer. So therefore, 0 is the additive identity of any integer. The last property was additive inverse, where we added a with minus a, that gave you 0. So therefore, minus a is the additive inverse of a. So therefore, we can understand that additive inverse is the negative value of any number. For 2, it is minus 2. For minus 2, it will be 2. So we understood the various properties of addition of integers. Now let us understand the properties of subtraction of integers. So let us relate this with the properties of subtraction of integers. Now let us understand first